Welcome to third grade. In this introductory third grade math workshop, we will focus on the big ideas of math to explore and expose our third graders to, as well as the top three math tools, those manipulatives and representations, that our students will benefit from experiencing, which will provide a strong foundation for them as mathematicians for years and years to come. Whether you are an educator new to teaching third grade, a homeschool parent teaching your young mathematicians, or an experienced third grade teacher, my hope is that this math workshop will provide support and guidance for you as you teach your children mathematics. Let me introduce myself if we haven't met. I'm Megan Brewer. I have over 30 years experience in education, ranging from elementary classroom teacher to mathematics coach at a Title I elementary school to mathematics curriculum specialist for a large school district, educational consultant providing professional development to teachers across the country, instructional coach for educators in various settings, and curriculum designer and editor. My belief that everyone can be a math person stems from my own journey. Initially not identifying as mathematically inclined, I discovered my passion for math through progressive opportunities in teaching, leadership, and advanced education. My consulting work has taken me to schools nationwide, from public institutions in urban and rural communities to charter and religious schools. My academic credentials include two master's degrees, with my most recent master's degree in mathematics education from the University of Virginia, reflecting my commitment to deep subject knowledge. I now call North Carolina home. I did attend Elon University for undergraduate studies, majoring in psychology and minoring in special education. After a recent year volunteering in kindergarten and second grade math classes at local elementary schools while working a remote position for an education and publishing company, I reconnected with my passion, helping students develop confidence and capabilities as mathematicians while genuinely enjoying the learning process, not to mention having tons of fun. Additionally, after traveling the country for over 14 years as a consultant, I am thrilled to have the opportunity to serve in my community. This experience inspired the creation of the Math Workshop. The Math Workshop embodies my mission to provide resources and support that help families, teachers, and students, both locally and globally, to recognize their mathematical potential and develop a lasting appreciation for the subject. These are the four domain areas for mathematics for third grade: operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, number and operations in fractions, measurement and data, and geometry. In third grade, instructional time should focus on four critical areas: developing understanding of multiplication and division and strategies for multiplication and division within 100, developing understanding of fraction, especially unit fractions, that's fractions with a numerator of 1, 1/4, 1/3, 1/6, developing understanding of the structure of rectangular arrays and of area, and describing and analyzing two-dimensional shapes. Let's examine the top three math tools that can provide a world of difference for our third graders' mathematical understanding of number and lay the foundation for future mathematical connections and concepts. Inch tiles. Inch tiles are going to be a math tool that is going to give your third grader a lot of bang for their buck. Here are just some of the ways that inch tiles can be used to support your students' mathematical thinking. In third grade, students have a standard about relating area to multiplication and addition. Students can use inch tiles to cover rectangles, understanding that the area can be found by multiplying the side lengths, length times width. Decomposing rectangles. Third graders also can decompose rectangles into smaller rectangles and add the areas of the smaller rectangles to find the total area. Relating to arrays. Students can use inch tiles to create arrays, like you see in the image on the PowerPoint, which can visually represent multiplication problems and connect them to area. Exploring the distributive property. Students can use inch tiles to visually demonstrate the distributive property in the context of finding the area of rectangles. For example, they can cover a rectangle by tiling it with two smaller rectangles and then adding the areas of the smaller rectangles to find the total area. An example of the distributive property would be if I forgot the multiplication fact 6 times 7, but I remembered 3 times 7 and 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21, and another 3 times 7 is also 21. I combine the 21 and the 21, and I get 42. That's my 6 groups of 7. That is an example of the distributive property. We can model that with inch tiles. Students can use inch tiles to visually show that distributive property. Measuring area by counting unit squares. Students can cover shapes with inch tiles to visually represent the area. By counting the number of tiles needed to cover a shape without gaps or overlaps, students can understand that area is measured in square units, the square inch tile. Number lines. In third grade, number lines can be used to visually represent numbers, fractions, and operations like addition, subtraction, even multiplication. They can also help students understand equivalence, compare fractions, and solve word problems involving time intervals. Grid paper can be a valuable tool in third grade math, particularly for supporting visual representations and understanding of key concepts like area, arrays, and place value. It helps students visualize and manipulate numbers, making abstract concepts more concrete. Here's how grid paper could be used. Finding area. Students can use grid paper to draw rectangles or other shapes and count the square units within to calculate area. Connecting area to multiplication. By visualizing a rectangle as a rectangular array of squares, students can connect area calculations to multiplication, realizing that area equals length times width. Exploring rectangles within a given perimeter. Students can use grid paper to explore different rectangles that have the same perimeter, helping them understand the relationship between area, perimeter, and shape. Representing multiplication. Grid paper can be used to create arrays where each row and column represent a factor in a multiplication problem. Understanding multiplication strategies. Students can use grids to visualize and apply strategies like that distributive property we just talked about, which is breaking down a number before multiplying. Dividing with grid paper. Grid paper can be used to model multiplication and division problems where students can visually represent the division process by grouping objects, squares on the grid, into equal sets. Visualizing numbers. Grid paper can help students visualize the place value of digits, particularly when representing multi-digit numbers. My hope is that you found this Welcome to Third Grade Math workshop helpful in supporting you and your third grade students. If you want more support, I invite you to join our third grade math workshop community. for a year of support. When joining this private community with other third grade educators, you will gain access to a collection of math workshops, which take a deeper dive into understanding the third grade standards and the math tools that you will want to provide for your children. Monthly throughout the year, you will receive engaging hands-on activities, lessons, games, and more to support the third grade standards. You can find out more information on how to register to join our third grade math workshop community on our website on the grade level resources page.